Hey gang, welcome back to another great episode of Powerboating in Paradise TV as we kick off the new series with the signature Key West offshore poker run. It's the 21st year for this huge event, which takes about 150 registered teams all the way from Miami here to Key West during the offshore worlds. We've got about 150 teams all together, but today, Wednesday, the first group, only about 40 boats. Tomorrow, a big group, probably about 90 boats on Thursday, and another 10 or 15 on Friday. They're all heading for Key West. It's going to be great down there. The weather looks good. It's a little breezy here as I stand on the dock at CL Marina about 9:30 in the morning as we get ready for the 10 a.m. start. Everybody's a little apprehensive about the wind because nobody wants to get beat up in the big waves. Well, the good news is we're going to be taking a protected route all the way through Biscayne Bay and the backwaters of the Upper Keys all the way down to Bahia Honda. Yes, there's 37 miles offshore in that final leg, but it's going to be a following sea. It's going to test a captain's skill. If he's got the trim right, the tab right, and he manages his speed, he's probably going to have a nice dry ride as he heads on into Key West Harbor. So we've got it all here. We've got the helicopter flying today. So it's our start of our big Key West offshore poker run, our first start. Join us now. Powerboating in Paradise TV, we're back. As soon as we wrapped up our quick dockside captain's meeting, it was time to fire up and start filing out of CL Marina. It's just about 10 a.m. and it seems like most of the teams were anxious to get out on the water and start the 170-mile trek to Key West. Here's a shot from one of the camera boats. This is Mark Boos at the helm of the 39-foot center console owned by Jim Bradley from Texas. These are some great video highlights as the boats begin their departure from CL Marina. And here's some aerial shots that we don't often get as the boats begin to idle out through the Venetian Causeway and continue southbound through the Miami cruise ship terminal. We're flying an R-44 Robinson with Florida coast-to-coast helicopters, David Steele on the video, and Jerry from Avatar Photography shooting stills. After the long parade through downtown Miami, we're up and running now as the boats head south from Biscayne Bay. Our official pace boat for the performance class is this 43-foot Nortec Team Screws Loose 3, which belongs to Trent and Sean Fisher from Texas. I enjoyed riding with the gang in this 43 Nortec with Mercury Racing 1075s. It was the perfect platform for the task. We're going to move quickly through this next half a dozen boats as they make a short sprint from the Rickenbacker Causeway to Grove Harbor Marina, which is our first checkpoint for most of the poker runs that head to the Florida Keys. We'll have a chance to introduce a lot of these teams in more detail just a little later in the show, but meanwhile, we'd like you to take a look at the variety in the fleet today. For example, this is a 1987 37-foot Cigarette, a very classic, and here again, a more late model 38-foot Top Gun. In fact, Cigarette Racing Team has got more boats registered for this event than any other manufacturer. Grove Harbor Marina returned as our featured sponsor for the Key West Poker Run, and it's a great place to do a quick touch and go for the first round of poker cards. Of course, there are several poker run teams headquartered here at Grove Harbor, so it's actually going to be their starting point for today's run. This is a fantastic location to call home port, especially the offshore powerboats, simply because there's no long idle speed zones out to the nearest inlet. You just jump in the boat and you're ready to run up on plane. Most of the teams now have gathered up their first poker card. It's time to mill around in Biscayne Bay as we prepare for the southbound journey to Key Largo. When we return in our next segment, we'll have some high-speed action on the Key West offshore poker run. We'll also have highlights from the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show that took place just a week earlier. And we'll feature highlights of the Miss Key West Poker Run contest, right here on Powerboating in Paradise TV.